Hey guys, so this video is going to be about my CAMHS experience. So my experience with the Children and Adolescent Mental Health Service in the UK. Now this service is a free service on the NHS, which I think is a brilliant idea because not everybody can afford psychiatrists and therapists, and I know because I did go private with my treatment for a while, and I'll make a separate video on my experience with private treatment. But CAMHS is initially just a free service for people struggling with their mental illnesses or just struggling, and it initially is a really good idea, but there are a lot of pros and cons and a lot of people who have not had a good experience and a lot of people who have had a really good experience. So I'm going to discuss my experience and how it's been. Okay, so I've been with CAMHS for a few years now, and I've had 3 different experiences with CAMHS. So my first experience was back in 2010 when my school got very worried about me. At this point my parents didn't know anything, but my school began piecing things together. I was always wearing long sleeves in PE, I was very withdrawn at lunchtime. In my lessons I wasn't really participating, my grades were going downhill. So they basically spoke to me and we decided that CAMHS would come to the school and I'd have like a mini evaluation basically. So this lady comes to my school and sits me down and we have an hour evaluation, and at the end I get a letter basically saying I'm fine. I show no depressive phenomena, is that even a word? She made me show her my self-harm, and it was really bad at that point, and all she had to say was, well, that's gonna scar. Like, do you think I don't know that? That was like my first mini experience with CAMHS, and it wasn't a very good experience because I was completely left by myself in the end. And yeah, I felt abandoned basically. My second experience with CAMHS was slightly better, yet still not very good. This was when things got very, very bad, and my GP was seriously thinking of putting me in a hospital, but obviously they couldn't just do it. I had to be in CAMHS, I had to have evaluations and assessments. So I went to Gloucester and I went and had an assessment basically by this quite old man who was quite old and he was a psychiatrist, and by the end of it he basically he was like, oh, I'm going to up your antidepressant, but on this time I was on Prozac, and he was going to up my antidepressant by 5 milligrams, and he just didn't seem to know, because he'd never met me before, and he just didn't seem to know about me. He just tried to make all these guesses. He was going on about me being bipolar, and I'm not bipolar, and it was just very confusing and I didn't like him, and it's very important that when you've got a therapist or psychiatrist you have a really good relationship with them, otherwise the treatment isn't going to work if you don't have a good relationship with the person that's treating you basically. So I personally just did not like him. I felt he just wasn't very warming towards me, and I felt almost awkward around him. I felt I just felt like I couldn't really open up to him because I was almost scared. So I never went back to that person and proceeded with private treatment, which I had currently been in. So my third experience with CAMHS is the experience that I'm still in, and it has been amazing, to be honest. I'm thoroughly lucky with how my treatment turned out and the people I got for my treatment. So I got referred by my GP again to a different centre for CAMHS. I'm not going to tell you where this one is because it is closer to where I live, so because Gloucester is quite far away from where I live. So I went to this CAMHS and I instantly got a psychiatrist, and I've actually had 2 different psychiatrists because my first psychiatrist left and worked at a unit closer to his home, and his name was Anthony, and he was really nice. I felt he instantly clicked with me, he instantly understood, and he instantly saw that I'd been on a certain medication quite long, so he changed it for a new one. He upped my antidepressants. He just really talked to me and listened to my symptoms, listened to everything I said. I only had him for about 6 months before he left, which was sad, but he did. And I moved on to my new psychiatrist, who's called Rosemary, and I currently still have her, and she's lovely beyond belief. She's so kind and warm and loving, and I could tell she really honestly cares about me and cares about my well-being. So she looks after my medication and looks after my safety. Now, the therapist I've had since I started CAMHS this time, his name's Sean, and he saved my life basically. He is the best thing that ever happened to me in the sense of my mental illnesses. He's helped me through the worst times of my life, in which I ended up in hospital due to a suicide attempt. He was there the whole time. He brought me back up again from the darkest moments of my life basically. If you want me to do an in-depth video on my therapy, then I can. So this is just a video on my CAMHS experience. My experience has gone up as each time I've experienced CAMHS, which I guess is very, very good. So I hope, if you've had a bad experience, I'm really, really sorry. But sometimes it does take 3 different times to, like, different chances for CAMHS to really show that they are good and good for people. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye.